Hey, welcome into the Paul Kuharsky podcast. I'm Paul Kuharsky at paulkuharsky.com. This is a production of 440 Sports. I'm happy you're with us. We're sponsored by Jasper's. I've mentioned my name 3 times, as is the rule, and we can get on with things here. Today, we're going to talk about the conditioning talk that came out of the 4 players who the media spoke to earlier this week. Car chase, side hustles, win totals, and Will Levis. And with that, we'll charge right in. We spoke with Sean Murphy-Bunting, Aziz Al-Shair, Treylon Burks, Daniel Brunskill this week as the Titans continue to make some players available to us before we see some open OTA sessions. I'm grateful for that. Treylon Burks, clearly the biggest story out of this. He's stuck around. Most guys, or a good share of guys, after the season's over and they take a little bit of time, they then have a private trainer, even in Nashville, or if they go to their other home and do some work on their own until February, March, or even until the OTAs open in April. But Burks came right back to Nashville and has worked at the Titans facility the entire time under the watch of Todd Torricelli, the director of sports medicine, and Frank Pirano, the strength and conditioning head coach, and his staff. They can only do so much, but guys are allowed to be there, and there's some level of supervision during that. He wants to be familiar with the Nashville air and heat in particular, because he's got asthma and because we know he was dealing with that and having difficulties with that when he got here last year after he was drafted, and want to do everything he can to avoid that, which is a smart strategy. Now, it's not been hot. Nashville's only kind of gotten hot this week, so he's not gotten the full benefits of that, but the intention is clearly good. They need a huge year out of Treylon Burks. They've put unnecessary, undue pressure on him as a singular wide receiver on this team by not getting a secondary wide receiver for this team. We've covered it to no end. There wasn't anybody good enough for the price in free agency. And they ignored the position in the draft in favor of some other things, foolhardy by my estimation. This guy must be turned loose by Tim Kelly and this new offense. They underserved him and the offense last year by being so cautious with him. I understand he was a rookie and they go easy with rookies. But they brought him in after trading A.J. Brown, and they needed more from him than they were willing to ask of him. Understandable that he needed to be eased in to a degree. And then he had a toe issue, if I'm remembering correctly, and then a bad concussion on a touchdown catch, which was obviously unfortunate. So he didn't play the full slate of 17 games, but he got 4.9 targets a game in the 17 games that he did play, only 3 catches a game. The Titans traditionally in recent history have been unwilling to force feed a guy. It's all about matchups, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to get double teamed based on who else is on the field with him, but they're going to have to force feed this guy to a degree to have their best chance of success. Burks and Chig Okonkwo are the 2 best guys on this offense as threats in the passing game, and they've got to work hard to get these guys the ball, to scheme it, to force it, and to make teams prove that they can stop these guys for the Titans to go to other places. They should get the lion's shares of the targets. So again, his biggest thing was to be around. And he talked about that with us on Tuesday.
Mainly, man, my biggest thing was not repeating on what I did last year coming into the off season, and I feel like that I've mastered that and can keep going. getting better with a lot of the formations and concepts of our new stuff, and just having fun. Really, that's the main thing. Just having fun, not having that stress on coming in as a rookie, like trying to prove this guy this, prove the coach this. Just having fun, man.
He's fun is a word that's come up a lot. It's easy to talk about fun in May. Vrabel talks a lot about a team showing its true character when times get tough. It's unlikely that the Titans or any team doesn't face some degree of tough times along the way. He didn't want to repeat last year. He's mastered that. He said he can run fast because he can breathe well. Now, a looser Burks is better, right? You need no groin or whatever he had during the preseason, which was a little fishy and didn't turn into a big deal after he had like a misstep after a practice catch. The toe, the concussions, all encouraging for May. So, root like hell for Treylon Burks, may be as important a guy as there is on this team, considering what there is opposite him and what there is not opposite him and what there is not behind him. Conditioning was a big theme out of this conversation with these four guys, particularly beyond Burks, because we had four guys who were not here last year in Sean Murphy-Bunting, in Azeez Al-Shaair, and in Daniel Brunskill. So two guys from San Francisco, one guy from Tampa Bay, who talked and raved about how hard the Titans have been working at this stage of the year in OTAs, and that's great. You wouldn't want to hear the other side of it, that they're not working this hard. But let's not get too excited about this at this stage of the year. Winning conditioning in May isn't winning games in September. And it's rare these days to see a poorly conditioned NFL team, right? Come September. Now sometimes you say that team is better up front and better equipped up front to push people around. You hope the Titans are one of those teams because that's what they're built for, and that's what they should be doing. And you certainly hope they're laying some groundwork for that now in May that can pay dividends in September. But let's not go crazy thinking that, winning the offseason, and we don't know. These guys said it's unlike what they've been a part of. Well, San Francisco and Tampa Bay are 2 of 32 teams, 6% of the league. They talked about becoming calloused, which sounds good, but we have to look at everything now through the injury lens also, after the last 2 disastrous years of Titans injuries. So being calloused sounds good, but I would imagine that Mike Vrabel thought they were calloused going into the last 2 years. And what were the benefits exactly of being calloused? It's more than Sean Murphy-Bunting saw in Tampa Bay. It's more than Al-Shaair and Brunskill saw in San Francisco. But, that is not everything. Here's Sean Murphy-Bunting.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. We come out here, we work hard every day. We do a lot of things that other teams in the league aren't doing at this time. We're pushing sleds on Mondays. We're doing things that's different, but at the end of the day, it's enjoyable. You come out here and it feels like you're working for something. It doesn't feel like you're just coming to a 9 to 5 or coming to a job where you just show up, you get your work and you leave. It's like you want to be around, you want to be here. And you just want to work. You want to grind with the guys that are here with you because they're going through the same thing. So I enjoy it. I do. Wake up every day with a smile on my face. I get up early, 5:30 a.m. I got alarms. I don't always get up at 5:30, but I open. No, I drank one time coffee actually the first day here, just so I can try out the new coffee maker because it was pretty cool. But yeah, I wake up early. I don't really move. I just see my alarm, turn it off, and then I get up when it's necessary, and then I go about my day. But I enjoy coming to work every day. There's days where you complain, obviously, but it's a more of a fun complaint than anything because everybody's going through it with you. So
Titans video arm of their website did a great job after Murphy-Bunting talked about pushing sleds. they clearly got clearance to put together a video of what they had from Monday's workout, pushing videos, and then push that out on their website and on socials. So we got a look at what that looked like. Pretty fun, competitive, kick-ass workout, pushing weighted sleds around the practice bubble. So that was pretty cool. He says it's more than a lot of teams are doing. Again, he's been in Tampa Bay. Maybe he's surveying some of his friends to expand that more than a lot of teams are doing. You should want them doing a lot more than other teams are doing. But again, I'll emphasize where they need to do more than other teams are doing is on the scoreboard in September. And that's the biggest concern. Good hard, he said, but hurting, but feeling good about hurting. Anybody that's worked out to any degree kind of can relate on a small level to that concept. Here's Aziz Al-Shair.
Sean kind of put it in the best perspective. It's different. It's different than anything I've done. I can't even really compare it to college, but I feel like maybe in the sense of like just the workload, it kind of reminds you a little bit of how you are like as a freshman coming into college and you're like, what the hell is going on? They got you doing 5 a.m. workouts. This isn't college, obviously, but it's just like things that usually you get to the pros and it's a lot more like, hey, man, we're going to make sure we keep you healthy, strength staff and stuff like that. Their biggest thing is like, the head coach gave the strength staff the keys to the car. Don't crash the car. Like, make sure the car makes it. So, I understand that because you're dealing with guys, even Sean just talked about playing with Tom Brady. He's old enough, to be some people's dad. So it's like you have to adjust. But I know, like, we're doing the sleds, and I'm seeing Ryan, who's 35, 36, whatever he is now. He's played 12 years in this league, and he's doing the same thing I'm doing, falling out on the floor, everything. I'm seeing him come back in the locker room. I'm like, Ryan, I know you weren't doing what we were just doing. I'm like, yeah. So, it's just like a different mentality. And then, you just understand how it can translate. And you're like, okay, dang, like I remember playing in 2021 when we came here and I was in San Francisco on a Thursday night. Half the roster was down. Like, they don't think they had any offensive lineman. The very last offensive lineman on the team was up, who was from practice squad. And they still came in and we came here and they had beat us. And you're just like, how? Like, well, this is how. Now I'm saying that being on the other side of it, you get to experience, like, all the work that was put in to get to those Sundays. So,
all the work that was put in to get to those Sundays. I think that's a striking comparison a little bit from a guy who was in San Francisco. I don't think they're true finesse teams necessarily in the NFL anymore. But I think if you were scaling or grading NFL teams and you said who's the most finesse-y team in the league, not that there are not big physical elements to the San Francisco 49ers, but you might say San Francisco on the finesse end of the scale, and the Titans would probably be top 6 in most physical. And so Al-Shair is getting kind of maybe a little flavor of that difference for the first time. And his old 49ers teammate was kind of talking, Daniel Brunskill, about the difference in the two philosophies about not taking it easy so much. And he may kind of lean towards talking like that, but the idea of not going too hard in the spring for fear of injuries, which is something the Titans damn well should be afraid of, versus this idea of working hard to get calloused so that things later are less likely to hurt you than they are now.
Every team has a different philosophy. Some teams, they like to keep, make sure guys aren't getting injured. They're kind of just doing enough to, like, where guys, are in shape and able to do the things that they can. And then, there's some teams, Vrabel's got, you heard Aziz talk about callous. There's definitely a philosophy of, sometimes doing not enough to stay healthy is good to a certain point, but then you start getting going, and then you see injuries happening that way. There's another philosophy where, you know, you work super hard and you kind of build that callus, so then, you know, those things don't hurt as bad, and then, you know, you don't get those same injuries that you would because you weren't doing enough, kind of thing. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's just different philosophies. I mean, I think either of them really work. It's just kind of the point where it's like, what is the team doing? And this team is a run the ball team, a play hard defense team, and then, you know, we're going to take our shots down the field. We got playmakers at the receiver position that if we can get them in some space and use the run game to do that a little bit, we can make big plays. So I mean, this is more of a team that probably needs that callus, because, you know, we're going to be playing grinded out football, and then, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, tough football rather than, you know, we're spreading it out and, you know, guys are kind of getting a little bit more finesse-like. So I think with the team that we are, it's a really good thing to have the conditioning and have that callus to be able to go longer than the other team.
So all of this, to hear all of these guys talk about the conditioning and how hard this team is working at this time, kind of led me to an obvious question. You know, are they doing things differently than they have been doing things under Vrabel to this point in May? Or is this largely three new guys kind of revealing to us their feelings about coming into a new program and kind of getting a bucket of cold water in the face with regard to how this team's doing things compared to where they were? I asked around about that, and what I got was this: no difference, just different. So I take from that you know, this is what Vrabel and his strength and conditioning department has been asking of his players. They're just asking it or shaping it a little bit differently, or maybe a lot of it differently, but same goals, same intensity, same end point, but maybe looking to get there with some different methods, mixing things up in a different way, and the like. So interesting in May. Ultimately, you want these guys fit for minicamp coming up in June. You want them fit at the start of training camp in late July, and you want them to stay healthy, which has been a huge issue for this team for the last 2 years. And the big question is that going to change? And is anything about this just different element going to help that? Hey, a note about this podcast. So the company I was connected to way back that served as a platform where everything's stacked on top of each other has shut down. I'm with 440 now, but they had kind of picked that up. So outside of being able to pick up Apple, we've had to kind of restart with the other platforms, Spotify and on and on. So if you listen to this on Spotify or Google Podcasts or Stitcher or any of those, I need you to resubscribe. And if you resubscribe one time, we'll pick back up where you left off, and you'll get your notifications or whatever you're set up to get. But you're going to have to do that one more time for me and for you for things to behave as you're used to. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience and the ask, but hopefully it'll be the last time. So if you could do me that solid, resubscribe, and maybe you got to that through this post or a link. But however you got there, you're at the new place now, because this is not at the old place. So from the new place, now if you subscribe, you'll be hooked up the way you were previously, and everything will be smooth going forward. I appreciate you going along with us on that. This podcast is brought to you, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube, where we have a big audience up over my left shoulder, Jasper's, which is at 1918 West End, just off of 40, a great bar and restaurant, kind of a hassle-free, easy place to grab a drink, grab a meal, have a business lunch or dinner, have a date night, go out with the boys or ladies with your friends. good menu, good drinks, reasonable prices. You can park for free, which is a very infrequent thing around downtown Nashville. You can head over to the game room and play some Pop-A-Shot or shuffleboard or other stuff. Also free. Big games on a big TV. It's just a delightful place. I can't recommend it highly enough. If you're unable to stop and head in for all that good stuff, there's a grab and go market that can serve your needs as you head home for the evening and look to fill your belly or take care of your family. So I urge you to stop by Jasper's. They're being really good to me. I hope we collectively can be really good to them. Check them out. Jasper's, 1918 West End Avenue. Will Levis, a quick couple words on the rookie second-round quarterback who we saw, those of us in the media and you who saw some highlights at rookie minicamp over the weekend. He made some nice plays. One on Friday that we saw on video where he rolled out. I think it was 7-on-7. There was no pressure in his face. Went through a couple reads, rolled out, made a very precise throw up the right side, right to a receiver. Then on Saturday at the open session that the media were at, looked very good on his feet in the agility drills that were on the record, off the record play that he made to end practice that we talked to him about, and to Josh Wiley, the tight end that he threw to, and to Mike Vrabel. A really pretty throw that Wiley was able to go get in traffic. But this was kind of, as I wrote at paulkuharski.com, kind of the typical cautionary rookie minicamp play. It looked really good there. But he's making it against a defense that includes 0 draft picks. And Mike Vrabel said, I would tell him, hey, when the veterans are here, you're probably not going to want to make that throw. It's probably not going to find its way through the team meeting that you threw it into to be completed there. So, again, initial impression the first time we see him. Don't go crazy over a couple of videos. Certainly, we saw the quick release. That snap of the wrist, it's very impressive. He moves well. He was entertaining in his conversation with us. And, right now he's everything that they hope he would be. But we haven't seen him under any kind of pressure or against any kind of quality defender to make any sort of real judgment. So, if you want to let yourself get all excited about 2 or 3 videos you saw, go for it. But, be conscious of the context is what I would say. I want to talk about this car chase. This really drove me crazy. I read about this on, today. I'm taping this on Thursday. So this happened yesterday. And I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs of this story, which is driving me insane since I read it. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry involved in a near catastrophic car chase with paparazzi, rep says. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were involved in a nearly catastrophic incident with their paparazzi on Tuesday night, their spokeswoman says, immediately drawing parallels to Princess Diana's death in 1997. The car chase happened after the Duchess of Sussex received an award in New York City. Meghan Markle's mother, Doria Ragland, was also in the vehicle. Several people involved are speaking out to the media. Last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Ms. Ragland were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. This relentless pursuit, lasting over 2 hours, resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 New York Police Department officers, a representative for the couple said to Yahoo Entertainment. While being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public, it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. Listen, there's an easy way to address a car chase that's going on because of paparazzi in New York City, in London, anywhere. Pull over. Pull the fuck over. Okay? You don't want your picture taken so bad that you're going to risk dying when your mother died for the very same reason? Pull over, let the authorities sort the thing out, and drive away safely. Pull over and get out of your car and let them take some damn pictures. I can't pretend to know what that's like. None of us listening to this, I don't think, can. But give me a break. You're going to risk the same sort of death that your mother suffered. Ugly, tragic, because you don't want your picture taken? I just don't understand it. You would engage in 2 hours, and the New York City authorities denied that it was 2 hours. Then they apparently, they took a taxi for a while. Then they pulled into a police station and they changed cars. It's out of a movie. Just pull over and get it sorted out. Why do you have to be on the move during this? It's absolutely ridiculous. Is nobody connected to this smart enough to say what we should do here is exit, get onto small street, pull over, let these people pull over. They can take pictures of our car for a while the police deal with this. Or, crazy, we can get out of the car, say, take pictures of us for 10 minutes and then leave us the F alone and then let us drive off. We'll make a deal with you. I just don't understand how this is possible in 2023, given what happened to his mom. How? Why? Stupid. Stupider than leaving the royal family where you have a life made for you. Over-unders. I've got 2 for you looking at season totals, which I think is not an inappropriate thing to do now, given free agency and the draft are over, unless you listen to Mike Vrabel, who seems to think that there's going to be a wonderful wide receiver present himself to the Titans. Ravens, these are from DraftKings. Ravens are at 10.5. They play the AFC South. Crappy division. I would think they probably win 3 games against the AFC South. They play the NFC East. Going to lose to the Eagles there, I think. Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. Maybe you go 2-2. They play the Lions, the Chargers, and the Dolphins. Even if they go 2-1 there, if I'm going to give them 3 wins against the South, I'm going to give them 2 wins against the NFC East. That's 5. I'm going to give them 2 wins against the Lions, the Chargers, and the Dolphins, which I think is pretty generous. That's 7. Then the NFC North. Pittsburgh is bad, I think. Cleveland is completely unknown. And Cincinnati is good. They would need to go 4-2 in the division in order to get to 11 wins. I just I don't see it with Lamar's injuries that I wouldn't be surprised to see crop up again, and with his delusion that he's going to throw for 6,000 yards. I know Monken should be an upgrade at offensive coordinator, and I do like the Ravens this year to be second in that division behind Cincinnati, but I think probably with 10 wins. I would go under 10.5. I don't see 11 wins, even with Commanders, Giants, Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans. The worst of the AFC North. I don't think it's good. I've got an over for you though here, and I think it's the Falcons. Falcons are 8.5 is their number. They play the AFC South, so we're familiar with how bad that division is. They play the AFC North. The NFC North. So AFC South, NFC North. I'd give them 4 or 5 wins out of those 8. And then they play the Commanders at home, and they're at the Jets and the Cardinals. I would give them 2 of those. And then in their division, which is not good. So I'm giving them 4 or 5 wins out of AFC South and NFC North. NFC South, they're going to win at least 4 games. So that's 8 or 9. And Commanders, Jets, Cards, they're going to win 2. So 8, 9, 10, they're at 10 already. They could win 10 games. And that's on the shy side. I think they could win 11. I don't think I'm not high on Desmond Ridder, but they've got some pretty damn good offensive weapons. I think they'll be able to run the ball with a great draft pick out of Texas. Bijan Robinson might be too high, but he's going to run it. I think the Falcons, out of a bad division, are going to win some games. Read Mike Herndon this week at paulkuharsky.com. He's got a too early forecast of the Titans' 53-man roster, his projection. Does he find room for Malik Willis? A hint. And not a lot of quality at the back end of spots at a lot of positions, which is one of the big concerns about the 2023 Titans. Depth. Depth is poor. Do you have a side hustle? I'd like to hear if you have a side hustle. I'm not addicted to side hustles, though I would love to make $1,000 or $2,500 a month off a side hustle. I am addicted to side hustle videos on Instagram and on Facebook. They come on and they tell you, all you got to do is this, this, and this, and you'll be, look, here's the money I make per month. And here's 6 different receipts. I'm pulling that in 6 different places. And all I do is, these 3 little tricks for affiliate marketing, or for, I take some pictures and I put them online. For every click I get on those pictures, I get a dime, and people are looking at my pictures like crazy. I'm fascinated by these videos. I don't go and do what the videos tell me to do. I do send myself some of these videos as if I'm going to go and do what some of these videos tell me to do. But these videos are like crack to me. I'm very, very intrigued by how these people suck me in to talk about their formula. Some of them even have you click into the longer video where they really give you the sales pitch on how you need $40 for their book on how to do that. Also, AI videos. I watch a lot of videos about how AI is going to save my life and also make me obsolete. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to have a mailbag at the end of the week, as I always do. So I encourage you to send me a question at the private paulkuharsky.com Facebook page, which you can get to if you're a member of the site. You should be a member of the site, as you can see at the bottom of the video here, or as I'm telling you, if you're just listening. $5.99 a month is a steal for the content you will get here at the site from me and from Mike Herndon. So I urge you to join. Try it out for a month. If you don't like it, you've wasted $6. The price of a cocktail or a cup of coffee. I promise you it'll be worth it. You join the most intelligent community of Titans fans. You get in this Facebook group where we talk amongst ourselves. You might find a good ticket deal there. Get a 5% off anything you buy at Tennessee Tickets. So Titans tickets cheaper for primo seats, but also if you're going to big concerts in Music City, that can add up to big savings if you go to a couple of shows. So I urge you to do that, and we'd love to have you over here. In the meantime, until I see you again, I can't urge you enough to don't block the box, and please, please lock your locks.